Good good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of On the Mark. I'm your host, Mark Brantley, Premier of the Island of Nevis, and this evening we're here, as we try to be every Wednesday from 8 to 10 p.m. for 2 hours of primetime talk radio. We are the only show in the Federation which is on primetime radio without the interruption of commercials, and we are able to do that because we want to give you the maximum opportunity when you do call to raise your points and to articulate your views and opinions on any matter that is impacting you. We like to say that we accept all shades of public opinion. Our only requirement, of course, is that we be respectful of each other. This show is broadcast here on VON Radio every Wednesday from 8 to 10. It is rebroadcast on Thursdays from 1 p.m. And we bring matters which we think are of some interest to you. I greet, therefore, the people of Nevis, those on St. Kitts, those in the wider Caribbean, those in the United States and Canada, and those in the United Kingdom. Those are the areas that mostly listen to this show. And for all of you who might be tuned in via the regular radio, 860 a.m., or on the website www.vonradio.com, or on Facebook or YouTube, we are reaching you through multiple channels. And I say good evening to you and thank you for being here with us for what we hope to be a scintillating 2 hours of talk radio. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me start the show on a sad note. I want to express my deepest condolences to Sonia Richardson and the entire family there in the United States Virgin Islands on the loss of her husband, Jerry. Jerry, well-known Brown Hill people. Both Sonia and Jerry are from Brown Hill. And Sonia, Jilly, and the whole team on the Hill have asked me to convey their condolences. Jilly, as you know, describes herself as your sister. Both of you are like sisters, and she has asked me to express her condolences. But the condolences really go out from the entire Brown Hill community, the entire Nevisian community. We all knew and loved Jerry, and we are very, very sorry to hear of his passing. And I'm hopeful, Sonia, if you're listening, that the prayers of the multitude will comfort you in your time of bereavement. So my condolences to you and the entire family on behalf of Jilly and the entire Walwyn Tyson clan, but also the whole of Brown Hill and the whole of Nevis. We extend our condolences to you. At the same time, this morning I woke to the very sad news that we had lost Dorothy Huggins of Churchground, but who was living in Georgia with her family there. I have spoken to some of the family members already. I wanted to use this rostrum, however, to extend deepest condolences to the family of Dorothy. Everybody who knew Dorothy loved Dorothy. Everybody who knew Dorothy loved Dorothy. She was a wonderful, wonderful human being. She and my own mother of blessed memory were very, very close and used to get along very well. And Dorothy was always very kind to me, an incredibly pleasant human being. And I want to extend my condolences to all of the children and grandchildren, the entire clan. Here in Nevis, we have Cuckoo, we have Denzel, we have Jean, we have Avril, the whole family, really. I want to just take a moment and extend condolences to all of you and let you know that you too are in our prayers, and that all of Churchground, all of Nevis mourns with you at the loss of a wonderful, wonderful Nevisian woman, Mrs. Dorothy Huggins, whom we lost today in the United States. And so I join the multitude again in our prayers and hoping that you will be comforted in your time of bereavement. If there are other people out there, of course, who have lost loved ones, and as I mentioned, people who might have lost loved ones, last week I was told that my friend, Mr. Bell, they refer to him as 1 foot, as things are with nicknames here on the island. He had had an amputation some years ago, but it never kept him back, and he was always around. He was usually around cleaning fish for people, just really somebody who took care of himself despite his disability, and he would have passed away. And so I extend condolences certainly to his family, the Bell family there in Pond Hill and the surrounding areas. We certainly would want to empathize with you and sympathize with you in your loss. And whilst I'm in that vein, let me also express again condolences to the family of Walter Morton. Walter was well-known radio personality. He worked at Social Security for some time, and in fact I would have seen Walter just a few days ago at the hospital and was quite surprised to hear of his passing. And so Walter's family, I want to extend my condolences to you, his siblings. I can think of Sandopi and Cam, who are here. His other brother, the name skips me at the moment, but he worked at the court for for a very long time. Also, King Irwin, I think we used to refer to him as a Calypsonian. His family, very, very, very talented family, has contributed a lot. Sandopi, Cam, and Irwin. I don't even know what their correct names are. I do know, but for purposes of tonight, they are known by everybody by their Calypso names, and that is just to show how much they've contributed, especially now as we approach Culturam. I really want to extend condolences to the entire family. So Nevis has had a difficult run. The last few days we've lost some really good people, some important people, and I just want to join all Nevisians in extending condolences to the families that mourn, and to let you know that you are in our prayers, and may our prayers comfort you in your hour of bereavement. If I can segue from all of that sad news to some good news, and that is to celebrate the birthday of Vernice Weeks. Vernice, who's from here, born and bred Nevisian, happens to be here at this time. She is visiting because she now resides in the United States. And Vernice, if you're listening, I'm told that your cousins and family in the U.S. say happy birthday, but obviously I refer to you as Mom, and I want to refer to also express my greetings on your birthday. I'm happy that you're here in Nevis celebrating with us. I had the privilege and joy of seeing you recently, only very briefly, so I'm hopeful that I get to spend a bit of time with you before you leave. But happy birthday, Vernice, and I wish you many, many more years of good health and happiness from all of us here at Von Radio, and certainly from all of your family and friends as well. While I'm in that mode, before I get into the show, I was sent this by my good friend Malva Rollins of the Community Affairs Department, and she has asked me to advertise that the Community Affairs Department is sponsoring and having this bread nut affair, bread nut. And they say, get your taste buds ready. It's a bread nut affair, and it's bringing a feast of flavors. This will be in my constituency at the Pond Hill Community Center. They're asking just $10 for 3 samples. What's on the menu? Curried bread nut, curried bread nut in coconut milk, bread nut cake, boiled bread nut bread, bread nut ice cream, bread nut cookies, bread nut muffins, bread nut soup, bread nut fritters, bread nut cinnamon buns, cream of bread nut soup, and bread nut balls. This is happening on Friday, June 27th, starting at 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. at the community center right there in Pond Hill. And so we encourage you to go out and support these very important initiatives, and I want to really commend the Department of Community Development because they continue to go into the communities and to partner with the communities and to use what we have. There's a breadfruit festival that is happening up in Barnesgate. There's the bread nut festival, and for those of you out there, I hope you know the difference between bread nut and breadfruit. 2 different things altogether, but those festivals are happening, and they're taking the breadfruit festival in partnership with the community in Barnesgate. The bread nut festival will now be at Pond Hill, and they continue to go into the communities and to do great things. I ask people to go out because this is also a way that we preserve our culture and ensure that the people of Nevis, especially the young ones, get exposure to these things that are quintessentially Nevisian. It is 10 minutes past the hour of 8 o'clock, and we will forego my usual soliloquy this evening because I have in-house a very special guest, and I want to welcome him back to On The Mark. If you are Nevisian, if you are here in Nevis or wherever you are, you know that this time of year is what we call mango season. In fact, the island of Nevis this year seems to have had 2 crops because we had an earlier season, sometime unusually around February, March. We're now into June, and the trees are full of mangoes again. And 11 years ago, I'm quite proud of the fact that I was the minister who introduced the Mango Fest, but 11 years ago, the Mango Festival was introduced as a signature food event for the island of Nevis, and one of the main events put on by the Nevis Tourism Authority annually. It has blossomed. Last year we had the 10th installation of the Mango Festival, and I believe that people have raved about it since last year. It has been growing. In fact, recently I traveled abroad and I met several people who volunteered. I didn't ask them, volunteered that they will be in Nevis for the Nevis Mango Festival. It's really becoming a bucket list item for people around the world, for foodies in the Caribbean, for foodies internationally, for foodies here at home in Nevis, and of course our brothers and sisters in St. Kitts support in large numbers as well. But I don't know enough about it. I have brought to you the substantive marketing, director of marketing for the Nevis Tourism Authority, but the person who is currently acting CEO of the Nevis Tourism Authority, Mr. Fayon Jones. They call him Fayon Hawk Jones. That's the name I see. So the Hawk is here, and he's here to talk to you about the Nevis Mango Festival and all that we can look forward to. So Mr. Jones, welcome to On the Mark, and I now turn the show over to you, sir.
Good evening, sir. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to come here and speak to the good people, not only in St. Kitts and Nevis, but in the diaspora, and listen from around the world about Nevis, and in particular, the Nevis Mango Festival. So, yes, we're here this year again to speak about the Nevis Mango Festival. Just to start on a positive note, while I was driving to the station tonight, I was looking at the various trees around the island filled with mangoes. So I just want to reassure everyone that this year we have a good crop in, and mangoes will be here for the Mango Festival. So that is a high note to start on, and I just want to now speak about the overall festival and what we have in store for you. As the Premier would have mentioned, last year we had a 10-year celebration of the Nevis Mango Festival, and just to be exact, 2,536 persons showed up and had a great time on the Sunday event, which is for the love of mangoes, and overall 3,800 persons showed up for the festival for the 10th celebration. From the indications we're looking right now, it seems that we're going to surpass those numbers from last year, and we're looking to possibly have over 3,000 persons on that Sunday and over 4,000 persons overall in the festival. Now, what I'm saying, if you're saying anything, is get your tickets today. You can go to www.nevismangofest.com. Again, the website is www.nevismangofest.com. Or if you want a physical ticket, you could visit our office. It's the Nevis Tourism Authority's office in Main Street, Charlestown, and you will get your physical ticket. Now, just to touch on the overall schedule for the Mango Festival, I want to start by inviting everyone to Nevis to come to Nevis on the 2nd of July. Why the 2nd, you may ask? Because on the 3rd we have the opening of the Nevis Mango Festival, and that will be at the Malcolm Gishard Park. It starts at 9:30 a.m. and of course the Premier will be there to give his words and his blessings for the Nevis Mango Festival, and we'll have some more speeches. But directly after that, at 10:45 a.m., we will have a panel discussion. Now, what is interesting about this panel discussion, it will be led by our celebrity chef. His name is Chef Brian Terry, and he is from the Bay Area, Oklahoma, in the US, and he's a very intellectual guy. He's actually an author as well, and we are going to be on the topic of not only mangoes but healthy living and a healthy lifestyle. I know that my fellow Nevisians and Kittitians are very accustomed to eating from the land and eating very healthy, so we're not just jumping on a wagon. We've been on this course, so it's just more promoting and reminding us that eating from the earth is a good way to go, and it keeps us healthy and essentially keeps us going. So that would conclude the Thursday. That should be around 2 hours with the panel discussion ending at around 12:30, and that will conclude July 3rd, the Thursday, at the Malcolm Gishard Park. Now, moving into the second day, which is July 4th, we will be at Ubrenta. Just to give a location, that is over at the old Sea Bridge. The Ubrenta, it's well manicured, a very beautiful establishment, and we're inviting everyone out there from 11 a.m. We will have the master class, and that will be led by Chef Brian Terry. Now, that class is already sold out. Yes, it's already sold out. But you can come, and if you're a person like me who may not necessarily be the best cook in the world, I know the Premier, he's a great cook, but unfortunately I was not blessed with that skill. But the skill I was blessed with is tasting the food. and I myself will be there to taste what has been prepared, and I encourage you to come out to also see what has been prepared and taste along with me, because feedback is always good, and I intend to give some feedback on the meal that I'll be having that morning. Now after that, at 12:30, we will have the Mango Mania. This is a family friendly afternoon. You will have your mango eating competition, you will have your mixologist competition, you'll have your mango stoning competition, your tug of war, you'll have various arts and crafts. And you know, it's a great day just for enjoyment. You could bring your children, bring your parents, your grandparents, whoever it is. Just come out and have a day filled with fun at your Brenta. That event starts at 12:30 and ends around 5 p.m. Now, one of the interesting, and I guess one of my favorite events on that afternoon will be the mango stoning competition. It gives me the opportunity to see who has grown up inside or outside. So yes, I'll be there taking my notes, but I encourage you to come out and give it a shot. We know the trick to it is to hit the stem and not the mango, as you don't want to damage the fruit. Now, after that event closes at Brenta, all roads lead to the Pennies Beach. We will be having the mango crawl, as we say locally, the mango walk, because of the proximity of the bars. They're very close, and all of the bars will be participating. They will be having their various mango infused cocktails. The price point is only $15, 15 EC dollars. Forgive me, the event before Brenta is only 10 EC dollars as well. And this one at Pennies is only 15 EC dollars for the drinks that you're purchasing at the various bars. You're able to either come on down and go to the bar at your own leisure, each bar on your own, or you can join the bar walk crawl at 7 p.m. So I encourage everyone again to go to www.nevismangofest.com. Again, www.nevismangofest.com, and get your tickets for those events that I've mentioned thus far. Now on day 3, July 5th, we will have the Passport Food Tour, and this begins at 11:30 a.m. This is where we will be going through the island on an island tour, but it's in a twist. You will be going to various restaurants and sampling mango infused dishes. Now there's 3 packages that we offer for this excursion. The first one is 100 EC dollars. You will get your shirt, your bottle, and you would drive your own car, and you're able to go to the various stops or restaurants on your own time, and you get a passport. Once you go to these restaurants and you purchase what they have for 10 EC dollars, they will give you a stamp within your passport. The second package is EC 125. You will also get a passport, the shirt, the bottle, and you would jump on a safari or party bus, and you would venture through the island to the various restaurants with Nevis Tourism Authority. And as you stop at the various stops, you will get your stamps, and it's just a fun vibe essentially. And the third package is 175, and all these prices are EC. And the 175 includes the boat fare, so that's coming to Nevis and returning back to St. Kitts. You will also get the party bus or the safari and the paraphernalia, as I mentioned previously. So there's 3 packages. You can go online, www.nevismangofest.com, and purchase which package basically suits your needs. So that would be from 11:30 a.m. to around 5 p.m. So that is the 3rd day of the Nevis Mango Festival, the 3rd afternoon. And don't forget, on the evening now, we also have a next event, and it's called the Supper Club, and that will be at the Golden Rock Hotel. And that event is a 3-course meal. It will be hosted by our celebrity chef, Chef Brantley. But I must admit right now that event is already sold out, and you know, it's going to be a great event. We know how beautiful Golden Rock is, and the celebrity chef, he is a big deal. So it's a night to be remembered, and the persons who were fortunate enough to buy the tickets early, they will have a great evening at the Golden Rock. Now, just to conclude and bring you to the Big Bang, the showstopper, on July 6th, we will be at the Malcolm Gishard Park for the Love of Mangoes Festival. As we said last year, this event by itself saw 2,536 persons, and from the indications we've seen thus far, it will be more than that this year. We have over 50 chefs preparing various mango-infused samples. You would have your fish, your chicken, your seafood boil. I heard someone say mango chewing gum. I'm not certain of all of the dishes that's going to be there, but I know it's going to be something to behold. It is a lot of samples, a lot of good times. We're going to have a folklore there during the day, so you get to see your masquerade, your makajumbi. We're also having the kids zone again return, the face painting, and of course the mango concert is also returning to close out the evening. We will have acts or artists performances from Denise Garden. We'll also have from Abena Amory, Easy Warner, Greenhouse Band, Garlic, and Mark and the Ivory Band. And one big announcement that we have to make as well is that the VIP will return, but the difference this time is a twist. It will be hosted by Carambola, and we all know Carambola, they're known for the VIP, White Sands. So all of this information can be found online, but just to give the ticket prices up front, for children, and that would be from the ages 6 to 11, they are $30, 3 samples. Children 5 and under is free. We also have the Limers package. If you want to come in and just lime, that's $50 EC. That doesn't come with any samples. And for the sample tickets for 5 samples, that's EC $90. For 10 samples, EC $115. And for 15 samples, EC $135. And for the VIP, curated by Carambola, it is only $450. And we would have listened last year because a lot of the persons who were in VIP would have wanted to go on the grounds and experience what is on the grounds. So in the VIP package as well, we've included 5 tickets for the grounds as well. So that is the overall schedule for the Nevis Mango Festival. I encourage you to come to the Nevis Tourism Authority to get your tickets, physical tickets, or you can go online for ease and comfort, www.nevismangofest.com. And I dare say I think it's going to be a very exciting Nevis Mango Festival, and I think this is going to be one for the books. And I'm so happy to be here speaking to you again about the Nevis Mango Festival. So I just want to encourage all of the persons under the sound of my voice to come on out and experience what we have in store here for you at the Nevis Mango Festival. But before I wrap up that, I want to also acknowledge the sponsors. Without them, this would not be possible. So I just want to say thank you very much for coming on board to Caribbean. We also want to speak to Rams, the Good Food People, Four Seasons Resort, National Bank, the Bank of Nevis Limited, Island Purified Water, the Cable, Cape Air, Nevis Island Administration, Seal My Sip, Carambola, and of course Nevis Tourism Authority. So again, thank you to all of the sponsors. And if you're a sponsor who hasn't come on board yet but you're still interested, there's still a bit of time. Reach out to us and we will get that done for you as well. But I just want to say thank you to all of the sponsors. I want to also say thank you to the amazing staff at the Nevis Tourism Authority. I want to say thank you to the board and the management team, and also the consultant Noah Mills, and for all of the persons who come on board to make the Mango Festival successful every year. I'm speaking about the chefs, I'm speaking about the various vendors, and everyone, the volunteers, everyone who comes on board, and also the patrons who come out and support. Everyone who's here and wants to see and make the Nevis Mango Festival bigger and better, I want to say thank you for what you've done, and thank you in advance.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you had it from Mr. Fayon Jones, who has given, in just a few minutes, a comprehensive overview of the Nevis Mango Festival for this year, the 11th edition of what I think has emerged as one of our Caribbean's leading food festivals. 3 days, I believe, he has indicated, that are packed with all kinds of activities for all the members of the family. Children and adults, we have it all for the Nevis Mango Festival. I, of course, each year invite all of our brothers and sisters from St. Kitts to come over. They love mangoes, we know. And you know, Nevis has, they say, over 40 varieties. So we're going to have all the varieties on display, all the varieties for sale, for tasting, for your enjoyment. And what I like about the Mango Festival, I mentioned earlier about community development, doing a breadfruit festival in Barnesgut, a breadnut festival up there in Pond Hill, and now we have the island-wide Mango Festival. What we in the island of Nevis are doing is using what we have to create something that is world-class, and I feel very proud about that. We are not doing anything that's an imported culture. We are using what we have, and all of us know about mango. In fact, when you talk about mango stoning competition, I confess that as a boy I was not very good at stoning mangoes. I was very good, however, at climbing mango trees. Okay. And so we would climb to get the mango, because when you stone them, you don't know, maybe you hit the mango, maybe the mango drops, you know. Yes, yes. Some fellows were so good, they would throw the stone and catch the mango. Yes. That is how good they were, but I was never good at stoning mango. So I used to climb the tree, and a lot of times, especially back in those days when things were very, very difficult in Nevis, when you got mango season, you didn't worry about, your parents didn't worry about food, because as youngsters we went out, you ate your belly full of mango, you drank water, and you were good to go. I confess that as I got old, I've been forced to eat fewer mangoes because of the high sugar content, especially those in Nevis, because we have some varieties in Nevis that are very, very sweet. And so I ask our people out there, especially those battling with diabetes, that they be careful, because the high sugar content can be a difficulty. So manage what your intake is, but certainly mangoes and Nevis are synonymous. And so, Mr. Jones, thank you for telling us all that you've told us. You said to me earlier that you were trying to give something away. So, can you tell us a bit about that? Okay, so I have a ticket here tonight to give away. It's for 5 samples for the Love of Mangoes Festival on July 6th at Malcolm Gishard Park. And I have one easy question to ask. So, whoever calls in with the correct answer will get the ticket. And the question is, where will the masterclass be held this year? Just name the venue and you have yourself a ticket. Where is the masterclass, or where will the masterclass be held this year? So the question is, where will the masterclass for the Mango Festival 11th edition be held this year? If you can call in 469-1616, 469-1700 and give the correct answer, you get a free ticket for the Mango Festival. Somebody's on the line already. Good evening, you're on the mark.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
You Brenta.
Your Brenta is where the, what you say is happening at your Brenta, the mango stoning competition? Hello? Caller? Caller, are you there? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, where have you disappeared to?
Yes, yes.
Oh, you're here now?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. So you say you're Brenta?
Yes.
Is that where the mango stoning competition is? What is happening at your Brenta, caller? Caller, are you hearing me? Hello? I'm not sure what's happening with this caller. Caller, are you there?
Hello?
Yes, are you there? Are you hearing us?
I'm here.
Okay. So I'm asking you what's happening at your Brenta.
Yes.
Hello?
Hello?
Caller, are you listening to me or are you listening to someone else? I'm trying to talk to you, but every time I say something to you, you disappear. Can you hear me? Okay, this call. I'm a caller. Hello. All right. Well, let's move to another caller. We're taking your calls at 869-469-1616. Let's try again and see if this caller now can get it straight. Caller, good evening. Are you there?
Good evening. Hello, good evening.
Okay, good evening. We are trying to find out where the master class for the Mango Festival is happening so that you can win a ticket.
The master class will be at your Brent. At your Brent.
At your Brenta?
Yes.
You sure about that?
Yes, it is.
But I'm looking at something here which says that's the mango stoning competition.
The master competition is at Finished.
Is where?
At Finished, I think.
Pinnis? You ever see mango at Pinnis?
You don't have the stone.
Huh?
You don't have mango tea. Stone.
And you sure you don't work at the Nevis Tourism Authority?
No, I don't work there.
Okay. All right. Well, it's unfortunate because the first caller got it right. But we couldn't hear what she was saying and she wasn't responding to us. So you are absolutely correct.
This morning, 700 is not working properly.
What is not working properly?
The phone line wasn't working this morning, so probably.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I apologize sincerely to the first caller. We could not hear her properly. She did say you're Brenta. So, Mr. Jones, you may have to find a second ticket for the first caller.
If they call
because we wouldn't want to prejudice her, but we really couldn't call her. But caller, you are correct that the master class will be at your Brenta. And we need to get your details, however, so that we can get you your ticket. I feel I know this voice. So
You do?
I do?
Yes.
So could you give us your name, and Mr. Jones will take the details so he can reach out to you and get you your ticket.
Yes. Cassandra Brooks?
Cassandra Brooks.
Yes.
And would you happen to live at Cane Garden?
Correct?
Oh, that's the name. Okay.
Yes.
Cassandra Brooks, Cane Garden. Would you want to give us a telephone contact, Cassandra?
Online?
Oh, you don't want anybody to have your
No.
number? All right, and Mr. Jones, maybe you can give out your number, Mr. Jones.
Okay,
You have my number.
No, it's not me. No, remember, I don't have a ticket. Mr. Jones is the man. He's here to give away.
Okay, no problem.
So just send me a WhatsApp 660-0212.
660-0212.
Yes, 660-0212. And for the caller before, if you could hear me as well, can you please give me a call 660-0212.
Thank you.
All right, thank
Good
you.
night.
Congratulations, Cassandra.
Congratulations.
You're welcome.
I don't know what you asked for ticket for because you know you're going to be there cooking. So.
My mom.
Your mom. All right.
My mom, of course.
All right. Well, good night. Good night to you and the Pam and the whole family. All right. Well, we have a winner. I feel badly, as I said, about the first caller because we just could not hear her. But she did say you're Brenta. And I was trying to engage her, but she couldn't hear. So the first caller tonight who got it right, we don't know who you are, but perhaps you can reach out to Mr. Jones at 660-0102. Let's go back to the phones. Good evening. You're on the mark. Hello? Hello? Okay, we don't have any idea what's going on with these lines tonight or with our callers. But callers, we're asking you to be patient. The numbers are always 869-469-1616 and 869-469-1700. And so we certainly apologize for that first caller having some difficulties. Second caller got it right and we were able to hear her. So Cassandra Brooks is a proud winner of a ticket for the Mango Festival 2025, the 11th edition. So, Mr. Jones, any final words from you?
Yes, I just want to again invite everyone out to the Nevis Mango Festival. If you are living in St. Kitts and Nevis, I encourage you to come on out from the 3rd of July. If you're coming in from outside of St. Kitts and Nevis, come from the July 2nd. We have a lot of the hotels, they have come on board. They're giving discounts. Some of the hotels are even giving discounts up to 25%. So I just want to encourage everyone to come on out to the Nevis Mango Festival. We have a lot in stores for you. We have the master class. the sampling. We have chef competition. There's just so much things to do over the 4 days, and you're really going to experience Nevis and what we stand for, which is not only a beautiful scenery and the beautiful views in Nevis, but also the culinary skills that we possess. So I just want to encourage everyone to come out to the 11th edition of the Nevis Mango Festival from July 3rd to the 6th. I'll see you there.
Before you leave, though, could you remind us of the website?
Yes. So to get your tickets, we're encouraging you to go to www.nevismangofest.com. Again, www.nevismangofest.com. Or the physical tickets will be at the Nevis Tourism Authority. But go online. It's just quick, easy. Get it done. www.nevismangofest.com.
And before you leave, one final thing. I realize that the Nevis Mango Festival comes on the heels of the Sink It's Music Festival.
Yes.
And so I'm hearing a lot of folks are saying, listen, they're going to come for Sink It's Music Festival, have the fun of the music festival, and then they come into Nevis.
Yes.
To relax. I realize that certain of our hotels, like the Four Seasons, are offering packages. Where they're basically saying, once you're done partying, come relax in Nevis, enjoy what Nevis has to offer, including the Nevis Mango Festival.
Yes.
So I think that there's a lot in store for those of you out there who have already booked to come in for the music festival, which kicks off in about 10 days or so.
Yes.
We are also asking you to stick around. Don't go back. Stick around, because the Mango Festival is the following week.
Yes,
and it allows you to enjoy both. You can enjoy both islands, and all the hotels in Nevis are offering specials to attract you. So come enjoy what Nevis has to offer, that very bespoke experience that we have here, and enjoy this culinary treat, which is the Nevis Mango Festival.
Yes, so we have the saying in the office, plain sink it, stay in Nevis.
Plain sink it, stay in Nevis. All right, well, or plain Nevis, stay in Sinkits.
Whichever way.
You know, we're only 2 miles, and so we offer that to our patrons. So thank you very much, Mr. Jones.
Thank you very much for having me.
And you're most welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Fayon Jones, the acting CEO of the Nevis Tourism Authority and the substantive director of marketing, who came to tell us all about the Nevis Mango Festival 11th edition, and also, of course, to give away a ticket for the Mango Festival, which was won by Cassandra Brooks, right there of Cane Garden. And so we say thank you to Mr. Jones, thank you to the Nevis Mango Festival, and all the work that is being done by the leadership and staff of the Nevis Tourism Authority. A small group, but they do phenomenal things. And so this year we look forward to a very successful Mango Fest, following on the tremendous success that it was last year. It's going to be 4 days from July 3rd until 6th. And of course, we're inviting all of you who are coming in for Music Fest to stick around and come over to Nevis. There are lots and lots of you know, in Nevis, there's lots of opportunities to stay. The hotels are offering attractive packages. Four Seasons, I know, because I saw them put out something offering to say to you, once you've partied, come to Nevis now and relax. They have spa packages, they have relaxation packages, and of course the Mango Fest. This year the VIP is being curated by Carambola. You know, they have tremendous experience. They have carved the name for themselves as providing very high quality VIP experiences at the music festival, at Carambola, at the White Sands. And so we have partnered with them this year, and I think that's a good thing. We also, I'm told, have some chefs from St. Kitts, as we truly make this a national event and make it a bucket list event for people not only in the region but beyond. And so I'm very happy, and I want to thank Fayon Jones. There's really some tremendous excitement happening for the Mango Festival. So here's how the summer is going to go. The St. Kitts Music Fest is going to be the biggest ever this year. In fact, I am saying to people who want to come for the Music Fest and can't find accommodation anymore in St. Kitts to stay in Nevis, because the hotels are also offering packages including transportation and your ticket into the fest. And so come to Nevis, stay in Nevis, and enjoy the St. Kitts Music Festival. For those who are coming for St. Kitts Music Festival, we then transition the week after into the Nevis Mango Festival, which is a culinary experience like no other, where everything, drinks and food, all infused with mango. We even have mango beer. There's so much to offer, and we invite you to enjoy that. And then no sooner are we done with that, then we go into Culturama 51, which is a kaleidoscope of colors and culture for the island of Nevis into our 51st year. So we have a lot that's packed this summer, and we are asking, you to come in, enjoy all of it, enjoy some of it, but certainly St. Kitts Nevis is a place to be for the summer. It's really a fun-filled summer for our people. Now, I've just been handed a note, and I'm told that regrettably only one phone line is working, and that is 469-1616. That might have explained why the young lady who called in with the correct answer for the question tonight and the free giveaway, why we weren't able to hear her. And that is why Mr. Jones has suggested that you get in touch with him directly, 660-0102. That is the first young lady who called, so that he can provide you with a ticket. We do apologize for that, but certainly we were able to hear Cassandra, and so she was the one who won the ticket on the air. So tonight then, for our calls, it will be 469-1616. We are only burning on one cylinder tonight, so you understand that that is the number to call. Now, you can call at any point in time, and the phones are ringing, so let me go straight to the lines then and say, good evening, you're on the mark.
Good evening, Miss Sheriff.
Good evening, my dear.
How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
John 17, verse 22 and 23. And the glory which thou gavest me, I have given them, that they may be one as I one, in them and thou in me, that they may be made perfect in one, and that the world may know that thou hast sent me and hast loved them as thou hast loved me. I got the shirt. Thanks very much. I went somewhere and I saw the person and they gave me the shirt. So I want you to know I get it.
You're most welcome. You're most welcome. Once you're on the air and you tell me you got that, I want the person who's my good friend Florian to hear that I need another shirt, this time of size small. Not for you, but for somebody else. So I'm happy you got the shirt, okay? And I'll deal with it. All right?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay.
You're welcome.
All right. You're most welcome, and thank you for your beautiful scriptures. Always. Florian, if you're out there and you're listening to me, you can call in again to remind us about the Renal Society and their events. But please, I need one more shirt, which is a small, for a very dear friend of mine. And you can collect, of course, my usual donation at your convenience. Ladies and gentlemen, this is On The Mark. I'm your host, Mark Brantley, and we're taking your calls on one line tonight. We're on one burner, 469-1616. That's the only number we have available to us, and that's the number, therefore, for you to call. Let's go back to the phones. Good evening. You are On The Mark.
Mr. Brantley, good evening. Okay.
Yes, good evening to you. I'm fine, thank you.
All right. I have just received a WhatsApp message, and it is very scary, and I want you to deal with it immediately. What it is about Dr. Theresa Tam, the chief medical officer in Canada. She has released a statement which has gone crazy, and everybody who took the COVID vaccine is considered a walking dead. And this is serious. I'll send it to you on your phone. I would like to know what is really going on with the vaccine that we took. We were all asked to take it. I haven't heard anything about the vaccines and the effects. People are complaining about blood clots and different things, and I haven't heard anything. I would like the chief medical officer to get together with the health fraternity and basically address the nation, because people just, I'm being honest with you, I'm frustrated. I took it. I'm frustrated hearing all this stuff out here. Dr. Fauci, he got a pardon. I don't know what crime he committed, but he got a pardon in the States. And I find it very strange that if he is not a criminal, why did Biden give him a pardon? He was the one who led the charge about this COVID vaccine. I have people who are hospitalized. They got numbness in their feet. I had one friend who flew to the States. He had a blood clot. I would like to get some answers. And so I'm trying it out there. I'll send it to you, and I'll put it up on my status. Dr. Theresa Tam. She is the chief medical officer for Canada. She's from Hong Kong. She's 60 years old. And this is no jokey article. So I would like you to look at that.
Okay. Thank you for that, caller. And frankly, I don't know. Since the COVID pandemic and since the advent of the vaccine, there have been rumors and counter rumors. There have been talk and counter talk. there was a huge movement against the vaccine, what they refer to as the anti-vaxxers. And those of us, and I was in that position at the time, a very, very difficult time for the world, certainly a very difficult time for St. Kitts and Nevis. I had to manage. It was a major challenge for any leader. It was the first pandemic in 100 years, first global pandemic in 100 years. And what part of our response was the vaccine. In fact, when that vaccine originally came out, the world was really scrambling, and we as small countries were trying our very best to get our hands on vaccines because some of the bigger countries were stockpiling them. We had various brands of vaccine. I remember Pfizer had something. They had other brands as well that were being offered. And that was what we were guided and what we were told. Vaccines are nothing new, caller, to us. Most of us have a little scar on our left arm. I don't know why left, but mostly is on the left arm, where we got vaccines when we were children in school. We used to line up. I remember when the nurse used to come to the school and everybody line up to get their shot. And for many people, it left a bit of a scar. We have what they call mumps, rubella, and something else. I can't remember the details now, but various vaccines for various things, polio, all of these, and they have been said to have saved countless lives. We have not had a case of polio in the Federation now in decades, and that's because of the vaccine and the fact that we have a culture of vaccination. So all of a sudden COVID came around and we had all of these theories and conspiracy theories and statements and counter statements to the point where I think people did not even know what to believe. So caller, you said those who took the vaccine are walking dead. I will want to say to you that all of us are walking dead, because the rules of nature say from the moment you're born, you start to die. So the reality is that we are all have a appointment to keep, and that appointment is with death. And so I don't know anyone out there who's not dying, because all of us are dying. That is the reality. We die from various things, but all of us are dying. And so I don't want to sound alarmist and to join those who are spreading any alarm to say that because you took the vaccine, you are somehow at any higher risk, because I have not seen any evidence suggesting that. I took the vaccine, caller. In fact, I took my 2 doses, and then I believe I also took the booster that came out. I know lots of people, my family members took the vaccine. In fact, we had a vaccination rate, I believe, in St. Kitts and Nevis, which was somewhere in the 70-something%. It means that 7 out of 10 people would have taken the vaccine. If what you're saying is correct, then we should have had widespread deaths, not some, but widespread, because if you have 7 out of 10 people, and in some places it was higher, you should have seen people dying in large numbers. That has not happened. And I am not trying to suggest that there may not have been side effects, and some people may not have experienced side effects. But caller, the truth is some people experience side effects from aspirin. Some people are allergic to penicillin. Some people can't take certain medications. So even things that we take for granted, something as simple as aspirin. You have a headache. There are some people who say, they can take, but they can't take certain drugs that contain certain chemicals. They can't take those because our bodies are comprised differently, and certainly we have different reactions. So I'm not going to suggest to you that it is impossible for anybody to have side effects from the vaccine, but I will equally say that in a situation where we had over 70% vaccination here in the Federation, if what you're saying is correct, and if what this person from Canada is saying is correct, then we should have had widespread deaths. That hasn't happened. We should have had widespread morbidity, widespread difficulties, ailments. Our hospitals should be overwhelmed. That has not happened. So we must still wait and see what the situation is. But at the time, the information available to us was the vaccine was the best response to the COVID-19 pandemic. And many took it. And in fact, I went with the entire cabinet because we decided we would lead by example. We were encouraging people to take the vaccine. And so we went, and we were the first to take the vaccine on the island of Nevis. And we did so because we wanted to demonstrate our confidence that it was safe, that we trusted the advice that we were getting from our local practitioners, because we were guided by our CMO in St. Kitts, Dr. Laws, who did an excellent job during COVID, and in Nevis we were guided by Dr. Judy Nisbet, who also did an excellent job. And I can't praise them enough, because they really went above and beyond to ensure that we, the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, were kept safe, and that was the position. So I just want to say, caller, that there'll be charges and counter charges, allegations and counter allegations, but at the end of the day, we just have to recognize that this was the response that we had available to us at the time. And thus far, as I say, I don't see the widespread negatives in terms of the vaccine that some have described. Let me go back to the phones and take some more calls. Good evening. Caller, we apologize. Numbers again to call. Well, not numbers. We one number tonight. 469-1616. 869-469-1616. That is the number. Let's go straight back. Good evening, caller. You're on the mark.
Yeah, Mr. Brantley, I listened to you. And while I'm not accusing you of sugarcoating anything, I'm telling you, as a non-medical doctor, you gave a broad overview. I asked you a favor on behalf of the people of St. Kitts Nevis. I asked you to go back to the CMO and check the article and see how authentic it is and see where we're going. I'm not trying to create any alarm, but people are dying, and unless you're a family member, you're not going to know the cause of death. And I'm telling you that people have been flying out of here and getting medical attention. There's one talk on the street that the politicians and the doctors of this federation go abroad for treatment. And so how can our healthcare system be so good if the top politicians go abroad for treatment? But like that's a different topic. Your answer you gave would be a nice speech just now, pointing out the 7 out of 10% and all that kind of stuff, but you still did not give me what I wanted. I asked you to go to the CMO, just like when the CMO came out and had a lot of seminars and broadcasts and everything. I would like that article by Theresa Tam of Canada. I want it investigated, and I would like on your next program that you promise us that you're going to come back to us with something.
So, caller, are you saying that every article that comes out, the CMO or somebody must respond? No, I'm trying to understand, because this Theresa Tam, whoever that is, that's not the first person, and I'm sure it won't be the last, who's coming to say something about the vaccine. All when the vaccines were being administered, there was a huge anti-vax campaign that was waged. A lot of people were saying, do not take the vaccine. That is why we, as the leaders in the country, certainly in Nevis, we went first, because we wanted to show to people that we were taking the vaccine and that the vaccine was safe. Because there was a huge hue and cry. You were here, you know that's to be so. So, are you saying that whether it's this Tam lady or next week is somebody Martin and the following week is somebody Brantley says something that I must go to the CMO and ask her to explain?
No, I'm saying
yes,
that we have been silent. I think I'm the first person who raised this thing on your show. Everybody has been silent. I've heard family members saying that they went abroad and the doctor told them that they had a blood clot, and they questioned them about the vaccine, which one they took and stuff like that. And people have been silent because I guess they're free to open them. I don't work for the government. I don't work for anybody, so I could ask any question. Nobody can fire me. So I would ask questions even if it's a hard question and you upset somebody. But I'm saying that the situation as this is now is cause for concern. I'm asking you, why would Dr. Fauci, who is the lead advocate for this vaccine, why did he get a pardon? Nobody look into that. What crime did he commit, other than go on the television and encourage the world to take this vaccine? And he got a pardon, and nobody explained that. So I'm saying that we need to dig deeper into the situation, because people are just falling sick and nothing, no explanation.
But you said
I understand what you're saying about Advil or paracetamol or whatever.
You said earlier that people would not know unless they are family members what people are sick with. You remember saying that?
You cannot. The doctor cannot tell me what my friend died of.
Okay, good. So if we know that, how is it then you're calling and saying there's an alarm over the vaccine? How is it you know that it's a vaccine that is causing people who are sick and suffering with various ailments that it's the vaccine.
I am talking about those persons who confided in me, or some family member would have confided in and would have said something to me, or somebody close to me. But I'm telling you, it may not look like a lot, but if you count the number of persons who have passed between 2019 and now, it's quite a lot of people, especially in the elderly bracket. And I am telling you, there's a cause for concern, and we have been very, very silent. Trust me, everybody has been silent. A lot of things happening in the federation that just goes untouched. For instance, the banks would have changed their opening hours. Nobody questioned that. You understand? And so there's a lot of things going on here. You find in the federation, depends on who you are and what position you hold, you can get away with a lot of things. And so I'm saying right now that the medical fraternity, the whole thing, right, somebody need to go out there and give us the same. Well, listen, there was so many there were so many seminars, so many television broadcasts to encourage the citizens to go and get it. So now that people are concerned and they want to know about these articles, well, let us know about the authenticity of some of these articles, if there's any sense in it, or stuff like that.
No, I hear you, Colin. I'm not trying to say what you are suggesting is wrong, because more information is always better than less information. I'm simply saying, at what point does it end? Because you're calling on the CMO and others now to come and comment on some article, to say whether it's authentic or not. What happens if another article comes out next year? Are they required to come back? Or are they required to continue? You can't compare the situation today with the situation that obtained when we were in the midst of the pandemic. In the midst of the pandemic, the country was shut down. We were seeking guidance as to where we would go. So naturally, those in charge, especially in the medical fraternity, were front and center advising and were on the ear trying to educate and trying to share information as to how we could best deal with this pandemic. Okay. If it is now, we don't have the pandemic now. The world has been freed up back to normal since 2022. So the question now is, in 2025, 4 years on from the pandemic, 5 years going on from the pandemic, are you still expecting the same level of communication from the health authorities and from the government on a pandemic that is really now in the rearview mirror? So
okay, well,
that is the issue.
I got two more questions for you. One, there was no cure for COVID. There's still no cure for COVID. But all of a sudden, all the masks have been removed, and people start to mix and mingle again and sneeze and cough and everything. You don't find that strange? Well, that's probably rhetorical.
Well, I don't know that it's strange, caller, because remember there was a response in terms of vaccination, and we heard all about herd immunity, and if enough people get vaccinated, the impact of COVID would be lessened. The vaccination was not intended to cure you, nor was it intended to prevent you from getting COVID, but it was stated to be something that would prevent the harsh effects of COVID and prevent you from dying. That was the whole idea behind it.
Okay, one more question before I want to flip the line for somebody else. Is there any issue that St. Kitts and Nevis has been added to a ban for the United States for traveling?
No.
I'm going to leave.
Okay, thank you for that question. It's an important question you've raised as you're leaving. But what my understanding is this. About 3 months ago, or thereabouts, the New York Times, a very reputable newspaper in the United States, would have written an article, published an article saying that there was a leaked document from the White House suggesting that a number of countries were to be placed on some kind of travel ban. That is, that citizens from those countries would not be allowed to enter the United States. I recall watching the White House press secretary, and she denied that that was the case. And so that matter went quiet. Then in the last week or so, we have heard from other reputable newspaper sources that there has been another leak of this suggestion that countries are to be placed on some banned list. Let me hold for a moment and go back to the phones. Good evening, you're on the mark. Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Yes, you're on the air. Can you speak up, please?
Yes, Mr. Brantley, I have asked your concern. The Treasury is town, the old Treasury. Can't you get it knocked down and even used there to be a bus stop. Mr. Brantley, across there where the bus stop is, very congested. You come out to go in the bank, National Bank, or go into the China or anything, you jam up. You got to find where all down by the waterfront just to pull over your vehicle and walk or come all the way by the bank because there's no space, all the bank and them, all the buses and them there, and you can't get in. You can't get to park. Charleston is very small. The old treasury is there, and it's time enough for that to be moved and put it to a bus stop. That's number one.
How the bus stop going to help with the parking for you as you go in town to go to the bank?
Mr. Brantley, me and see no sit us now. Me not able to walk all the way down that.
But no, but I'm asking a serious question
Yeah.
because you say that you would like the place there to be a bus stop, but you also went on to say that there's no place in town to park for people who want to stop by the bank or whatever. So how would that bus stop solve that problem?
Because the buses and them would go down there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we who the people them you could just pull in by the bank and we're not staying in there long.
Okay, I hear you. Go ahead. Uh-huh.
It's something to look at.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not forcing anything on you, it's just something to look at. The second thing, the health system. Mr. Brantley, if I live at K-Cat, I have to come out my car sometime when I'm coming fast to go walk or when I come back and I pick up paper container because I don't like to see them. You understand? The other morning, I see somebody throw it out and I mark the number and I follow the vehicle and I tell them if I come back up the half moon and I see the paper there, right? They don't care, Mr. Brantley, everywhere you turn down in Nevis, the garbage and them all over the place, throw down all kind of place. Let me tell you, I don't know about the other side when it come on the garbage bin when it come. The garbage truck come twice a week, Tuesdays and Fridays. Lord Jesus, if your yard no fancy now, you know got to thing. Go down a Rams, go by Hartford, go by TDC. They got the pallet, where the cement just go on,
Mm-hmm.
and you can easily build something up there and put your garbage in it. You understand me? And then that will make it more easy because you can't tell the donkey and them do not trouble your bin. And then you're going to just take out your bin, put it down in the road. The garbage truck come a morning time. You only and take up the jump. And you fully well know, Mr. Brantley, because you drive places that I drive often. And all the garbage down the road and all kind of thing. Look nasty, the place doesn't look good, and the people need to keep where you live clean. Keep the country clean. Next thing again.
Well, before you move on,
Okay.
because I want to join you in that. I try to do a little walking from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
And I will tell you the amount of garbage that we meet on the sides of the roads. And that is not garbage from people's houses. That garbage there is garbage that people throw out of their vehicles as they're driving.
Exactly.
Because you see water bottle, plastic bottle, you see Guinness bottle, you see sometimes I see the food, the styrofoam
Yeah.
where they eat their food. They just throw it out the window. And I keep saying, and listen, I'm not going to hold my mouth because I'm a politician. It's only nasty people do those things.
Exactly. That's
And I'm saying it plain. Only nasty people do those things because I don't understand how a man could eat his food and take the container and fling it out the window. So we go along and on the sides of the road you see all of these containers. Sometimes I pick up because one thing when I'm doing and walking in the morning, I'm picking up as I go. Sometimes you find a plastic bag. And in the bag you got the styrofoam, you got the chicken bone, you got all of that. So they just fling it out the window. I have also had situations where people clearly leave home with their garbage and just throw the garbage out the window.
Exactly.
They take the microwave, the old washing machine, and they just throw it down in the gut. And we need to condemn these things. This is not how Nevis is intended to function. And people don't seem to appreciate that when they do that. They lead to breeding ground for mosquitoes. These things get into our waterways, they block them up. These things get into the ocean. The plastics degrade, the fish eat, You then turn around and eat the fish. So caller just call in and talk about COVID vaccine making people sick. A lot of what we're doing here in terms of not keeping our environment clean is also making us sick. So I join you in saying that, caller, because it needs to be said and more of us need to say it.
I driving down to work the other morning, and a two bus man a pull up onto this one time. And I stop the bus, I follow the bus to the bus stop, and I come out of the bus, I come out my car, pull my car right there. Oh, Randy, you can't park there, bus stop. I start coming to you. I said, let me tell you something, right? You are bus man. Your passengers and them in the bus. You keep looking. I know definitely your bus man are looking at your mirror carding. And people in the bus throwing out garbage in the road. I drive behind them and I see it. You see where Mr. Amri picture was what been there?
Mm-hmm.
If you see more garbage, that's how they saw ground. Me not pick up no more. I only pick up when I'm going home and go across to where me live, and me come out and pick up the garbage. And next thing again, the signs on them that how you put up, who say where the village is and whatnot. The same sign. I done talk to the fellow from Church Ground 2 times, and I tell him, you cleaning the road, clean it properly. You understand? You can't see the sign, and I come across the road the other morning, and I tell him, listen, if I come back up the road, and that's how I not clean, I'm going to punish Mark Shaw. And because you're getting pet to the way you walk, clean the sign, clean around the sign. And if you don't believe me, drive there tomorrow morning and see, you can't see the sign. You don't see nothing. You understand?
Where's this one? Which are the signs? Which are the signs?
The sign cross out the Evans picture just there.
Okay,
George the tomorrow morning, he can't force you, because you're an early bird. But it is not clean, and that top keep on telling him, clean down the sign there, clean down the... Nah, do none. And then when you don't know, and if you not pay them for the week, they still make noise to the money. But I am begging Nevis Jones. They're going to say, they like to blame the foreigners too, eh? But I'm blaming everybody that live in Nevis. Get out your garbage bin. Go down TDC, Hartford, Value Bath, Rams. Get the box, get the thing and make a box. And put your garbage in now. Next one again. Leaving the hospital, coming down the road in front of Dinsey Morton. The sign is there, no garbage, but somebody still been a put a bin there. Tomorrow morning, you go down there, all the garbage. God, that's the road of the hospital. They're not supposed to be like that. That's what need to be discarded from it. And you know where the garbage, you know where I mean. Because, and then the garbage ending on there all over down the road. Because you can't sell it, don't care, and do nothing. If you get so hard to hear 2 things, to talk to Nevis Jones and tell them about what they do, you don't, you can't, not gonna hear. You got ear, but you don't hear you. One more thing again, Mr. Brantley. Gingerland Health Center. I would like this, I am from Rollins. I would like this center to go back in the right place. When I decide that I'm going to fix the center, you say I'm going to put people up there in the place. Mr. Brantley up there, you know. Me just go up there, me just go. Right? And when me look, go in the center by the station, woodworking there, go on, Mr. Brantley, it is not right. From the time I know myself, it's our health center. And I would like to see it go back up and come out at the whatever center it is, because of them properly. And that is all I have to say. Have a good night.
All right. Well, thank you very much for that. And the last point you made is something that clearly would need to be looked into in terms of what we're doing with health centers around the island, Gingerland and elsewhere. Of course, I am focused on delivering the health care to our people in their communities. And certainly from time to time we have to upgrade, we have to refurbish to ensure that those health centers are fit for purpose. And so, caller, thank you for that. Thank you for raising some very important points tonight. I am very passionate with you about the garbage, because I think it can be avoided if only our people, and you say I'm not getting into foreigner or local, because whoever is here on Nevis should respect Nevis enough, foreigner or local, to keep the island clean. And some of the things that I see are ending up in our roads and our gut side. It tells me that people just do not care. And that's a major, major concern that I have. We had an event. In fact, I want to talk a minute about that event down at the MGR Park for Father's Day. And we had garbage disposal all around the park. But yet, I went at the end of the event. I left only minutes to 9. And I used my phone light. And I went around and I picked up wherever I found any little garbage. And put it into the bin, put it into the bag. That's what we must do. And we must look out for this little island. It's a matter of pride for me when people say, man, the place looks so clean, it looks so tidy, because I've been to other places in the Caribbean and around the world which are not kept at all up to any standard. So we need to do better here. And our Solid Waste Management Authority, they do an excellent job collecting our garbage, disposing of it for a nominal fee. A nominal fee is what we charge. But yet our people are not doing what they ought to do. They're not doing the right thing. And so I encourage them, I encourage all of us to be clean and to keep our surroundings clean. They say cleanliness is next to godliness. We want to be godly people, then clean up our act. Let's go back to the phones. Good evening, caller. You're on the mark. Hello.
Good night, Honorable.
Good evening to you. Good evening to you, brother.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, thank you.
All right. I was listening earlier with this guy with the vaccine issue. You know, sometimes they bring all this back.
Caller, you move your way from the phone. I can't hear you now.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I'm hearing you.
What I'm saying, sometimes they bring out this vaccine issue. They never tell you can't get a corona. They never tell you. However, they tell you it prevents you from dying. You know, and when you hear people this talking about this vaccine, have people who refuse to take it and get COVID corona.
Mm-hmm.
Even a young lady who just called me from England just the other day, and she said, Nelson, you nearly lose me. I said, lose, my friend? She said, yes, I get the corona. So I said, you never take the injection? She said, no, I didn't take it. She said, I nearly died. So, you know, they did not tell you ain't going to get it. I will tell you it will prevent you from dying, helping the situation. I mean, what the USA do, Brother Mac, is get the amount vaccinated and open the door.
Mm-hmm.
Understand? Let me say that you can't catch it, but it prevents you from dying. What do you think about that?
But that is what we were told here, for sure.
You know, and I have a cousin who died from it. He refused, say he taking nothing. And there comes, it was late, he rushed back to hospital. He died. But I glad that I catch you tonight. Well, Matt, I when I was up in Nevis, I visit the craft for life for a walk where they do all the craft work. The mats, where the lady them not do the little craft
yes,
work.
the craft house.
Yeah, man, I was pleased to see who walk in there. You know, these special need ladies who walk in there. They do good work inside there, man.
Mm-hmm, of course. Very talented.
Yes, and I never heard nobody really speak about them. When I say, man, I have to tell you that, you know, and no noise. They're doing the work properly, and you know, without any noise with the iPad, plugging in the air, and they're doing the work gentle. I said, man, in the BVI, me see this. And you have seen no argument inside of that building to say, wow, what and what. When I come back up there again, I have to visit there, because I think they tell me they just make the ukulele for the Kwelbe band, Fundi band them.
Yeah, for the string band.
Right.
Yeah.
I got the string band down here
You have string band down
So-
there?
We call it fungi band.
Fungi band, okay.
Yeah, we call our name fungi band. We have the bass and the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
You all have pipe still, and as my good friend Freeman does the banjo. But I say I have to tell you about the craft, the craft business down there, which I appreciate, and to see that as much as people maybe have a special need, they still work in a different way, professional.
Of course.
In the
Of
same
course.
craft work.
Yeah. Of
And
course.
I really have to big them up. But that guy who speaking to you, or speaking to you early on, you know, he always come give you trouble that they could get information to go out and chat. But nobody them. I had the vaccination myself. You know, as everyone we have to do. Somehow that's stupid. That's the whole marvel. But I gotta listen to the show, which I have some friends down here to listen to the show all the time. I have to say good night to my friend named Kevin Blythe. He always listens to the show. Which I have to say condolence to a cousin of mine passed away. Up there, his name is Vincent Martin, better known. You know, his name is Vincent Martin. He passed away in Nevis there. You know, so I might come up there, Mike. You know, but Honorable, you continue the good work, man.
All right, my brother. Thank you very much. Thank you for your call, and greetings to all of those who in the BVI who are listening. And I share your condolences to those who have lost loved ones as well. Okay?
All right.
All right, good. This caller is correct that we don't often give the praise to the people at the craft house, people at the Newcastle Pottery. They all do excellent work, excellent artisans, and so I certainly join you in congratulating them. Now, while I've been here on the air, we have another call? I'm sorry. Hello? Good evening.
Mr. Brantley, before you continue, I went looking for the article on the COVID.
Yes.
And I found something, and there were two things that popped up. The fact that it is fake, and there's a scam attached to it.
Okay. Well, caller who called about the same article by somebody, Tam.
Tam, Dr. Teresa Tam, apparently they used an interview that she did some months back. And you know what they do with their AI situation?
Right.
And apparently that's what happened. So it's a fake, according to the Canadian press. It is a fake, and there is a scam attached to it where you can go to Amazon or somewhere to buy something pertaining to the COVID.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for that. Caller who called earlier, I know who you are, but I won't call your name because you didn't identify yourself. But here we have the article that you called, and you asked us to investigate and get the CMO to respond. It appears that if you search online, you'd realize that the article is a fake. And I'm concerned about that. And, you know, my erstwhile assistant here, I don't know if she's my assistant, she's my boss, but she has pointed that out, and it's something that we ought to be concerned about, because I see a lot of people distributing videos of various things. Just yesterday I got a video where purportedly Mia Mottley in Barbados had banned Donald Trump from visiting Barbados, and they were saying this was a bold move. The only thing is nothing goes so. And a whole video is out about how great she is because she has banned President Trump and he can't visit Barbados, and absolute nonsense. So we have to be mindful and careful of that. Let me go back to the phones though. Good evening, caller, you're on the mark.
Good evening, Honorable Brantley.
Good evening to you.
All is well with you.
And I hope all is well with you as well.
Thank you. I would like to read my scripture now, Psalm 121. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, He that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy helper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth and even forevermore. Here endeth the reading of the scripture. May the Lord add his richest blessings unto it.
Thank
God
you.
bless you and have a good night.
Thank you very, very much for that. And you always choosing a great scripture. I've just received a note here to remind the public that Culturama will be launched on Friday, June 20th. Friday, June 20th. It will be on the Charlestown Bayfront. Entertainment by various DJs. House DJs Big Dream Sound. We'll have the Sugar Hill String Band, Masquerade, Jumping Clown, Steel Pan, African drummers, dancers, poets. Rocco Dan, the man, will be there. Ras Brown will be there. Junior Calypso winner. Delhi Ranks, Core Band, Rukas, and David House. On this night, the Culturama contestants for Miss Culture Swimsuit and Mr. Cool will be revealed. So that is the big day, Friday, June 20th. Culturama, right in the heart of town. Everybody is asked to come out and be a part of it. Let's go back to the phones. Good evening, you're on the mark. Hello?
Yes, Mr. Mark, how are you? Long time I haven't heard from you.
I am well, thank you, and it's good to hear your voice. How are things with you?
Okay, so long.
Okay, great.
Yeah, the reason for these people passing and passing, they didn't hear after that COVID that people going to die. They say just give them another year with a vaccine. The vaccine never cure. It takes 2 years just to cure a vaccine. And the vaccine never cures, so they couldn't, the people must have passed away because of that. So as you get this public service for every day, we got Nevis and Sink is going a lot of people passing away. What is that?
Yeah, well, we do have people passing, but sometimes it's not clear because people pass for various things.
Yeah, you know, I had these months of things, but somewhere in 1 week, but 5 or 6, you know.
Yes, I understand.
Take it because you're going to be very affected to your name if you got underlying sickness. And I remember when I got doctor, the doctor said I suffer with high cholesterol, so I didn't take it. And I said, I have a little business and only me I working for, so I didn't need to take it. That's why I'm out. I may be alive till today with me 70 years. The vaccine it never cure, and I believe that's cause effect. And the vaccine was just a cold, you know. They put in, the COVID, sorry, not the vaccine. The COVID is just a cold, but people put in a dressing name to it. It was like when something new, it was a whole thing done come and gone already.
Mm-hmm.
Because I come back around, they say, oh, in him, the prince something or prince that. There was something with somebody and said, I may see the style already, you know. I remember when I was 15 years, the style was up, and that's what happened. So, this passing away is the vaccine, some of them. Because you're getting the shortness of breath and all kind of things. They tell you so. I read someone is to me passing, dropping like fly, and it's that one. So
Okay.
we cannot help about the matter.
All right. Okay, caller.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much for your opinion on the matter. Again, we all have an opinion, but on this show we try to deal with the evidence and say, well, what is the evidence? And you say that more people are dying, and you are saying that it's the vaccine, but we have no evidence of that. One, we don't know what people die from, right? Unless you're the doctor, unless you're the coroner, unless you somehow are a family member, we just don't know. And I know, for example, that in Nevis we have high, and St. Kitts we have high incidences of diabetes, of hypertension, We have high incidences of cancer. And so, unless you're saying that the vaccine caused all of those things as well, the vaccine caused old age, because some people die from old age. Some people have dementia. Some people, you know, various things. So I am not sure, caller, you know, how we draw the conclusion that it's the vaccine, unless we have some study done that can establish that. I took the vaccine. I feel fine. Don't know what tomorrow holds. None of us knows what tomorrow holds. But as again I say, if over 70% of the people in St. Kitts and Nevis took the vaccine and the vaccine was causing people to die, then everybody here should be dropping dead. 7 out of 10 people here should be in hospital. We should have a major crisis on our hands, but that is not the case. So I think that we need to be just careful about it. We have our opinions. People took it, they didn't take it. People were persuaded one way or the other. But at the end of the day, we need to be prudent and be guided by the evidence and the statistics that are available to us. Let's go back to the phones then and take another call. Good evening, caller. You're on the mark. Hello?
Good evening, Mr. Premier.
Yes, good evening to you.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Okay. First of all, I want to say congratulations to Mr. Jones and his team with the Mango Festival. I think I sent a note out on Facebook and congratulated him. He came in the ring. He got some licks, but he went back to the drawing board and he listened. So then he came back with a bigger and better product. So congratulations to him. Now, on to more serious matters. While we're talking about vaccines and health, it's gone past 8 years, maybe 2 weeks now, since this Alexandria Hospital ring started. Maybe you have received a report as to what the issue is or the issues are, but I think the people deserve to get an in-depth report as to what the problem is and what is the plan going forward. I don't think it's fair that Nevisians have to be listening to a press conference every month to hear that something is coming, something is coming, something is coming. I can recall vividly when there was a fire. I think it would have been 2014 at the Treasury. And the CCM at the time went to Canada to get a gentleman, I think an ex-fire officer, to do a report, which was publicized on the internet. They made reports of it in the house and said, wait. Why is it a report has been done and up to this day, Nevisians don't know what is going on, where we are going, and where we are. I don't think it's fair. I'll listen off here.
Okay, caller. I suspect that no matter what I say or this government says, you will not find it fair because you have your perspective on things, as you are entitled to. What I will say to you is that I don't know what else that I can say to you or to the Nevisian public. I have made it very clear that we were waiting for some information. I've also made it very clear that that information is now in hand. And the only thing that is left for us really is to determine when we will restart the hospital. We've made a commitment to try and restart that this year. That is the commitment. And we have committed that we will finish the job that was started and stopped just before COVID, and we have not yet restarted that. We have gone over this time and time and time and time again. And I recognize that the opposition in the country, they don't have anything else to talk about because the country has been run very well. So they have latched onto this unfinished building as if it's the most important thing in the world to them. And certainly if it is, well, I understand that. But I have, as Premier of Nevis, made that commitment. I don't know what else it is you want to hear. The building was started, the building was stopped. We have explained why. We have said we were waiting for a report. We have indicated that we got a Taiwan firm involved. They have now reported to us, and we are evaluating in terms of when do we restart the project. Once we have a date to restart, we will come to the public and we will indicate that this is what we're hoping to do. This is when we will restart the project because we are committed to getting that project done. So as I said, I'm not certain what more is required. I recognize that the politics of it is that they figure that this is an issue for the opposition to continue to rail about an unfinished building. I've continually said in response that a building is not healthcare. And whilst people are railing about an unfinished building, the hospital that we have always had continues to function at an improved level. More specialists, more equipment, new ambulances, CT scan, mammography, all of those things have been introduced. And we continue to elevate the standard of healthcare that's available on the island. So for those who want to fixate on a building, that's clearly a matter for them. We as government are saying that we continue to provide an upgraded level of health care on the island of Nevis to our people. Our eye care program, one of the best in the regions. Our care for our elderly at the Flamboyant Home, and more generally, one of the best in the regions. So caller, some may look at the glass as half empty because it's in their interest to say so. I look at the glass as more than half full because I know the work that is being done and I understand the benefits under difficult circumstances that are accruing to the people of Nevis insofar as healthcare and the advances in healthcare are concerned. So I'm not sure what else I can say, what report you want to see that will satisfy you one way or the other. I am saying as government that we will be proceeding with the hospital project at a date to be announced once we have our I's dotted and our T's crossed in relation to the cost and the financing and the construction firm that will hopefully take us to the completion of that particular project. The good news is that we're not spending any money because since we have closed off the project, we've also closed off expenditure on the project. And so it's not as if money is being expended on a daily basis, but we recognize that that is a project that has to be completed. What I urge our people, however, to remember is that healthcare has not suffered as a result because we continue to improve in a very deliberate and obvious and recognizable way the healthcare that is being delivered on the island of Nevis. And I think it's a matter of great pride for me that whereas you used to hear this opposition cussing every day the Alexandria Hospital and the healthcare system, you don't hear that as much now. They have one singular issue. The hospital extension has not yet been finished. That's the only issue. And I think that too says that the island on a whole is being run well, because the island is not just a hospital wing. You have roads, you have water, you have electricity, you have healthcare generally, you have education, you have the economy, jobs, job creation. I sat in a meeting with the Chamber of Commerce just 2 days ago and was very pleased to hear the officials who were there indicate that there was such a concern in terms of jobs on the island. Not people getting jobs, but a concern in finding employees. One who was a lead at one of the major companies here, in fact, indicated that when they do find an employee, they can't keep them because there's so much work in Nevis, people can move easily from one job to the next. I shared with them that I went to a particular employer who's looking to hire as many as 50 people this year and can't find employees. They commented on the number of OHCS nationals and others moving into Nevis, finding work, holding down sometimes not just one but two and sometimes 3 jobs. So the island is not just about a hospital wing. Important as that is, the island is all those other things. And since the hospital wing seems to be the only issue that is a major issue, I think that speaks for itself in terms of what is happening when we look at the management of the island of Nevis under a CCM-led administration. So caller, I hope that that satisfies you. I doubt it will. But certainly when we have something to say on the hospital, we will say that's something to the people of Nevis, consistent with how we've always been, which is a transparent and open government. Let's go back to the phones and take some more calls. We have 25 minutes left. Good evening, you're on the mark.
Yeah, good evening to you, Mark Brantley, and your listening public.
Good evening to you.
Yeah, the island is not about the Alexander Hospital alone. Yes, you're correct. about the health centers them in the communities them for years that one refurbishing. But that's not the issue really for me tonight. Why call tonight to ask you? I want to ask you if those fellows that help you manage institutions called the Nevis Island government, are you involved in any corruption at all, whether private, public, or listening?
Wait, caller, before you go, please, I want to get your questions. Caller, I'm very sorry. I didn't get your question straight. It sounded to me if you're asking if anybody who manages in government is involved with corruption. That's what I get. And I wanted a greater level of specificity because to ask me if anybody is involved in corruption, I can't answer that broad question. I can speak certainly for myself. I can speak and indicate that the standards that we have set in this government for the cabinet and for everybody who serves this government is that we are zero corruption. We tolerate no level of corruption insofar as this government is concerned. I have been in government since 2013. It means that I've been in government at the NIA level now for 12 years. I've been Premier of Nevis since 2017. It means, therefore, that I've been Premier of Nevis now going on 8 years. And in that time, I have not known of a single credible allegation of corruption against me or against my administration. When the opposition in Nevis, as you know, they're very vocal. They have 3, 4, 5 shows. They have you calling in every week. They have all kind of people doing things for them. They cuss about unfinished hospital. That seems to be the main and only topic. But they think if there's a pothole in the street after heavy rain, they will take a picture and they'll talk about that. But you do not hear any allegations about corruption on our part, because I've said to my team, this is how we're going to manage this island. And I don't want to hear any talk of any corrupt practices within my cabinet or within my government. Now, caller, that is not to say that somebody somewhere may not try to do something, because I can't police everybody. But I can say that that is the standard that we have set. And that is a standard that we intend to maintain. And thus far, I have not had any evidence of corrupt practices on behalf of anybody in my government. And if there were, I am sure you wouldn't call to ask me, you would call and talk about it, because that is what the opposition is there to do. So I just want to make that pellucid, and we can continue with that conversation. Let's go back to the phones. We have some more people calling. Good evening, you're on the mark.
Yeah. Good evening.
Hello?
Good evening.
Yeah, caller, when you call, if you can, please just take your time, because sometimes you call and you hang up right away and I don't get the answer. I don't get the question correctly. So just take your time and ask the question.
Well, the question when me asked a while ago, you get it correctly, Charles. You answer.
Okay.
Anyway, let me go forward. So them seating down by the bundle chap, the bleachers, wherever you call them, do they belong to Nevision? Do they belong to us, the people? And if not, we belongs to, and if them, and how much we paying for them? I can listen to you again.
As far as I know, that we purchased the seating at the Mondo track when we set them up. Those bleachers I think you're referring to were purchased by the Nevis Island Administration and belong to the people of Nevis. That is what I know to be the case. I have not had any evidence of anything to the contrary, caller. I believe that we use some local business people to source those and to erect them, and we have had them there now for quite a few years since the Mondo truck has been in existence. So I don't know where that question is coming from, but that is my understanding of bleachers at the Mondo track, that they belong to the people of Nevis, have been purchased by the people of Nevis many years ago. We have about 20 minutes left. Do we have another call? Let's go back to the phones then and say, good evening, you're on the mark.
Good evening again.
Yes. Instead of calling and hanging up, why you don't call and ask your questions, and so that we could have one conversation?
To the hospital project.
Yes.
Why I want to know why it is. Is it corruption? Is it a honest mistake? I will listen again.
Okay, caller. Well, I don't know if you have 10 questions on the paper to ask. Just ask the 10 questions because you're clogging up the line with these constant calls and listening off here. So just go through the paper that you have in front of you. Ask all the questions so that I could answer and that somebody else could get a chance to call in. I don't know about hospital and corruption or honest mistake. I have just spent 3 or 4 minutes speaking to a previous caller about the hospital and what our intentions are in relation to that. Beyond that, I don't know what it is I can say to you. This is the second time you come in talking about corruption. If that is the word of the night, then that is not a word that applies to me or my government. Accuse us of anything else, but not that. Okay? I hope you understand me very clearly. Let me go back to the phones again. Good evening. Okay, we've lost that caller. Callers, before I take any more calls, let me just refer to an important matter that was raised earlier. And that has to do with this issue of visas and some suggesting that we've been banned. I started out by pointing out that about 3 months ago, the New York Times, a very reputable newspaper in the U.S., had published saying that they had a leaked document that said that various countries, including St. Kitts and Nevis, were to be on some kind of ban for travel to the United States. When that was investigated, we had not heard anything here about it. Other countries, St. Lucia, Antigua, said they had not been informed. The U.S. Embassy in Barbados that deals with these islands said they had not been informed, and so there was no information. At the time, that claimed that we had to respond to certain concerns within 30 days. The White House press secretary then said that that was not the case, and we thought the matter had ended there. In the last week or so, we've seen new news reports which say, again, that citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis, Antigua, Dominica, St. Lucia, and a host of African countries, in fact, all black and brown countries, that they will be potentially banned from entering the United States. Again, nothing formal was communicated based on what I'm advised, but I'm told through the news reporting that a cable was sent by the United States government to its various embassies asking them to engage. I am not privy to that engagement, what has been happening thus far. I'm told that a meeting had in fact occurred at the offices in the United States in Washington, D.C., and that Grenada, which is not on that list, St. Lucia, Antigua, Barbuda, Dominica, and St. Kitts and Nevis were invited. And it appears, I say, put it no higher than that, it appears that there is a concern about our citizenship by investment program. Now that seems to me a bit curious, because the OECS countries that offer citizenship by investment, being St. Kitts and Nevis, who started it, Antigua, Barbuda, Dominica, Grenada, and St. Lucia, all of those countries have signed on to new protocols, and those new protocols were in fact negotiated with whom? The United States of America. It was the U.S. that convened high-level engagements with the prime ministers of those countries, and it is the U.S. that said that these were the new standards that the U.S. wanted to be implemented. We in St. Kitts and Nevis have been a partner of the United States from time immemorial. In fact, many here may argue that from Alexander Hamilton, who was born in Nevis and became one of the founding fathers of the United States, that we have been tethered to the United States. We've had an umbilical cord stretching back hundreds of years that has connected St. Kitts and Nevis to the United States of America. We in St. Kitts and Nevis, at the behest of the United States, have banned Russians and Belarusians from our program since the advent of the Ukraine war. When other islands were processing Russians, we took a hard-line position and we lost money as a result, but that is the position we took to support our friend, the United States. We have historically also banned Iranians and others, countries which the U.S. had difficulties with. We have also banned them from our program. So it is difficult for us to understand what the problems may be. I am told that every applicant to the CBI program here in St. Kitts and Nevis is put through a rigorous due diligence program, including running them through an agency that is run out of Barbados, and that agency has participation from the Canadian, the UK, the EU, and the United States. And so, to put it bluntly, the United States knows and has information on every applicant through our program. This is my understanding. So if all that I have said is correct, I am not understanding why we are getting word that somehow St. Kitts and Nevis is being put on some potential list of countries whose citizens are to be banned from entering the United States. Now I am hearing from some news reports that part of what the United States is trying to do is to force certain countries to accept deportees that are not their citizens. Let me say that again. I am hearing that part of what the United States is seeking to do is to force third-party countries to accept citizens who are deported from the U.S. who are not that country's citizens. Let me put it differently. Break it down. If, for example, there's somebody from Iran or Iraq or Libya in the United States, and that person is being deported from the United States, the U.S. is saying to St. Kitts Nevis, to Antigua, to Jamaica, to whatever, are you willing to accept those people that we deport? Even though those people are not Jamaican, Antigua, and St. Kitts Nevis, as the case may be. That is unprecedented, because it pretty much means that we, these countries around the world, will be asked to take in people who are being deported from the United States who are not our citizens. And I'm told that that is one of the considerations that is percolating. Now, I have not had that officially, because very little, I'm told, has been said officially. And we have not been told specifically that items 1, 2, 3, and 4 are the concerns. So all you're hearing is that there are concerns, and that we have, I'm told, based on the news articles, 60 days to respond to those concerns. This is a very serious matter. Very serious matter. I will say to the public that the Honorable Prime Minister traveled. I have been in touch with him via WhatsApp today, and he and I hopefully will speak on Friday. But this matter is very high on the agenda, because as leader of the opposition and as Premier of Nevis, I would like to understand more what is going on. I can say to the public as well that I have raised this matter with the current person in charge at the U.S. Embassy in Barbados. They have not yet appointed, the Trump administration has not yet appointed an ambassador. And in that discussion, it appears to me that they too did not have much information as to these pronouncements and what was happening. So at this point, to the caller who called very early in the show, I did promise to get back to you. All that we have really is a situation where we have media reports, but not much else. That's not to downplay the critical importance of this, because I think that this represents a very serious matter that the country has to confront. And whilst I'm not the one to make that decision, I believe that Prime Minister Drew ought to have this as one of the items on the highest agenda for our foreign minister and our foreign ministry and our embassies, that at the UN, the permanent mission, and certainly our embassy in Washington, D.C. This is not time to sit back and wait. This is time to be proactive. This is time to engage the United States and really find out and get to the bottom of what is going on. Now, having said that, let us remember that sometimes the United States makes pronouncements, and other countries as well, based on bad information. That is sometimes the case, that they have incorrect information. An example, of course, was the recent brouhaha over Cuban doctors working here, that they were somehow being trafficked. And we had to explain, no, when a Cuban doctor, Cuban professional comes here, They're paid the same pay. Nobody's holding their passport. Nobody's holding them hostage. They're free. They take their vacation. They're employed as professionals. And we saw when Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, went to Jamaica, that he spoke about it and said that their concerns had been allayed in relation to the Cuban professionals. And so sometimes it's just a question of dialogue. And this is one thing I can say, that diplomacy is best practiced when there is dialogue. If our neighbors, if our friends have a problem, they tell us what the problem is. Every relationship is based on communication. Marriages, friendships, in the workplace, personal relationships, they're based on communication. And diplomacy is no different. So when countries have issues, one expects that they will use the established mechanisms for diplomacy to reach out, to articulate what those issues are, and to give the country an opportunity to respond. That is how diplomacy ought to work. We ought not to be engaged in diplomacy via the media. We have a presence in Washington, D.C., and the whole embassy we have there. We have a presence in New York, an entire mission to the UN that we have there. So it's an easy matter for the U.S. State Department to reach out to the U.S., to our ambassador in Washington, D.C. It's an easy matter to engage and to say, listen, St. Kitts Nevis, this is the problem that we are having. And then allow us to find a solution, because we have been a friend and a partner to the United States from time immemorial. As I say, I believe that of all the Caribbean nations, we can stand up and say we actually contributed to the founding of the United States because we gave you one of your founding fathers. No other Caribbean country gave you that, but we gave you Hamilton. So let us give dialogue an opportunity. Let us give diplomacy an opportunity. Not pronouncements in the press and leaks. We can't conduct international affairs through leaks. That is not the way. So I'm hopeful that our Prime Minister and our Foreign Minister will put this at the top of the pile. We understand there are lots of issues, but this issue is a critical issue. So, Carl, I hope that I have explained as best as I can based on the limited information that I have. And I'm optimistic that as we go forward, we'll get more information so that we can get this matter resolved once and for all. Let me now go back to the phones and take some more calls. Good evening, caller. You're on the mark.
Good evening, Premier Brantley.
Good evening to you.
Good evening. Allow me a few seconds just to welcome and invite the good people of Nevis to the 11th annual Breadfruit Festival in Barnsgard. It's happening this Saturday, the 21st, starting at 12 noon, going down to 7 p.m. Anything you could think about that is made with breadfruit will be there. From drinks to ice creams to stews, even some things that Rastas don't eat, but that's okay. You could still come on out and spend some good time with the good people of Barnsgard. We'll have games to entertain, the not so young and the young. Lots of different dishes, great music, and good company. So I hope to see you there.
All right, well, thank you for that. Could you just give us again the date and time?
The date is June the 21st. That's this coming Saturday at the Barnsgard Community Center. It's our 11th annual Breadfruit Festival. Starting at 12 and going down to 7 p.m.
Okay, and it's all things breadfruit?
All things breadfruit.
And this is being put on by?
The Department of Community Development.
Okay. All right, so this Saturday then, that's a place to be, starting at 12, Barnsgard. And Barnsgard is famous for its breadfruit, so that's a good spot to be. All right? Okay, thank you very much for that caller. And we have about 5 minutes left. Let me see. Yes, 5 minutes exactly, so we can take a couple of calls. 869-469-1616 is the only number that we have that's live, so you can use that number. Let's go back to the phones. Good evening, you're on the mark.
Mr. Brantley, quick question.
Yes.
We have a Prime Minister, right? That is in St. Kitts, who belongs to St. Kitts Nevis. We have a federal office. Many people don't know him. how come he never come up and sit in the office that Nevis Jones could go and sit and talk with him?
So how are you going to ask me that question? That question is a question for the Prime Minister.
You are our premier. You are our representative.
Yes, but I am available to the people of Nevis. I can't speak for the Prime Minister. You ask me why the Prime Minister don't do something. That is a question you need to ask him.
Yeah, but then I asked him already.
What he tell you?
Answer.
He didn't answer?
No.
So you're going to ask me?
Because you are our representative.
Yes, but you're going to ask me. It's like you ask me now if your son went and paid the bill, or how I could tell you what your son went and do, or what your son think, or what your son feel.
Mr. Brantley, you're premier.
So as the premier, I must tell you what the Prime Minister's motivation is for doing or not doing something. That's what you're telling me.
You can talk to him, but you don't ask him, well, how come to Nevis and meet with the Nevis? His family is from Jessup and Cotton Club.
Yes, but I'm saying that is not for me to do. When I need to engage with the Prime Minister on behalf of the people of Nevis, I do that. If you want to see the Prime Minister personally, okay, well, if you want that and you want other people to see him as well, then you must ask him why he don't come and do what it is you want him to do. But you can't ask me why he doesn't do it, caller. I wouldn't know. Okay? All right. Thank you very much. We have about 4 minutes left. We're taking your calls. 869-469-1616. 869-469-1700. Those are the numbers. If you, sorry, 1700 is not functional. I'm so accustomed to giving you the both numbers, so please forgive me. It's 869-469-1616. And so I hope I've taken a little time to try and explain where we are on this visa issue. It's a very important issue for the country, and I certainly am concerned, deeply concerned, as I'm sure all of our people at home and abroad would be concerned to see St. Kitts Nevis' name being mentioned. Some have said that this is all to do with citizenship by investment, but I realize on the list of 36 countries, Grenada is not listed, and Grenada now has a large citizenship by investment program. So it makes you wonder, if it's about CBI, why Grenada is not listed, but the others are listed. And then some have indicated that there may be other concerns. When this first news broke a couple months ago, remember, it was all about Cuba and Cuban professionals. That looks like it has gone now because that situation has been clarified. And I'm optimistic that this too will be clarified. The United States has many friends in the region, and St. Kitts Nevis has been a good friend to the United States, as they have been to us. So I don't anticipate that this issue will linger. I just believe that we need a full assault, a full frontal engagement with the U.S. in relation to this particular issue. And certainly I'm hopeful that the Prime Minister and the Foreign Minister have put this at the top of the agenda. We can't just ignore it. Let's take this then, which would likely to be our final call. Good evening, you're on the mark.
Yes, for this night, make all the wrong number.
Yeah, well, quick.
Anyway,
yeah, tell me.
Yes. Let me follow up the lady thing. You ever invite Premier Jew to come and talk to the citizens of Nevis?
No, I have not.
All right. Okay, good. Okay, Alexis Jeffers down St. Vincent right now, right?
I don't know if he's
representing you.
I think he's back.
Okay, but he go down there represent you, right?
Represent the opposition, yes.
Yeah, but they never then just say Alexis Jeffers, leader of the opposition.
Oh, that's what they said? Okay.
Yeah, for the rest then say Chet Green representing John representing full thing now, so me kind of scared.
You're scared?
Okay, yeah. For so that you know, hear the opposition, and then just left them just like that.
All right.
Okay then.
Okay, caller. Well, thank you very much, and please don't be scared. Don't get scared so easily, okay? When people get scared, they get all kind of problems. We don't want you to have any problems. Alexis Jeffers was there. He was there in my stead because I couldn't go. And he is very capable of representing. If they refer to him as leader of the opposition, then perhaps the announcers got it wrong. And that's all there is to it, nothing more. So, caller, thank you for your call. Thanks to all the callers who called in tonight and were part of the show. I really, sincerely appreciate you. Appreciate your calls. Appreciate your engagement. This show is rebroadcast tomorrow at 1 p.m. And remember again, we have the Bread Nut Festival, we have the Breadfruit Festival, and we have the big launch of Culturama this Friday, June 20th, happening in Charlestown. Lots to do this weekend in Nevis. Please go out and be a part of all the festivities. That's our show. Good night, and God bless and keep you. See you tomorrow. Not tomorrow. What am I saying? See you next week, Wednesday, God willing. It was so nice that perhaps we want to do it twice. I'm in fact going to see you tomorrow. I'm here with this and that tomorrow night. So that's why tomorrow is on my mind. Good evening, and God bless you.
The views and opinions expressed on the preceding program were solely those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Nevis Broadcasting Company Limited or its advertisers. With all the